Yes, sir, today, we unlock the doors and pull back the curtains on the scandalous secrets of Neuschwanstein Castle, a place where fairy tale dreams collide with dark obsessions, forbidden love, and betrayal. Behind its breathtaking facade lies a web of mystery that has captivated imaginations for over a century. This is not just a story about a castle, it's a story about scandal, ambition, and the ultimate price of defiance. Why did King Ludwig II, a reclusive monarch, pour his kingdom's fortune into this fantastical retreat? What forbidden desires and hidden relationships fueled the rumors that rocked Bavaria's royal court? And how did the king's life end in a shroud of mystery, just days after being declared insane? Stay with us as we unravel the untold story of Neuschwanstein Castle and the tragic fall of the man who dared to dream beyond the bounds of his time. The truth is waiting behind the walls and lies beyond the castle's keys. Are you ready to uncover it? Neuschwanstein Castle wasn't born out of triumph or celebration. It was born from isolation and obsession. For King Ludwig II, it was more than a retreat. It was an escape from a world he no longer felt part of. Behind its towering walls, Ludwig sought refuge from the demands of the throne and the judgment of society. But the castle's creation came at a cost. Ludwig's fixation on building a private sanctuary alienated him from his court and his people. His vision consumed him, driving him further into solitude and further from reality. As construction dragged on, rumors began to swirl, whispers of a king losing his grip, of a ruler more concerned with fantasy than responsibility. And, with every stone laid, the castle became not just a monument to Ludwig's dreams, but a symbol of his unraveling. Neuschwanstein isn't just a castle. It's a testament to a king's struggle against the confines of duty, the weight of expectation, and the shadows of his own mind. Mystery and tragedy are woven into its very foundations. Neuschwanstein Castle is a masterpiece of fantasy, but its walls conceal secrets far darker than its enchanting exterior. Hidden passageways snake through the castle, designed to allow King Ludwig II to move silently, unseen by others, an eerie reflection of his growing obsession with privacy and isolation. The castle's construction is just as mysterious, lavish, and ambitious. It drained the kingdom's treasury, yet much of it was left unfinished. Rooms sit frozen in time, their incomplete designs whispering of a project interrupted by tragedy. The throne room, a symbol of royal authority, stands hauntingly empty. No throne was ever placed there, a poignant reminder of a king dethroned by scandal. But the most startling secret isn't hidden in the walls or the unfinished rooms. It's the tale of a love so forbidden it threatened the monarchy itself. Behind the castle's fairy tale facade lies a story of passion and betrayal, a scandal that reverberated through the Bavarian court and brought Ludwig's reign to its dramatic end. In 1869, high in the Bavarian Alps, an ambitious project began, one that would blur the lines between fantasy and reality. Neuschwanstein Castle was the vision of King Ludwig II, a ruler consumed by dreams of a world far removed from the harshness of his own. Ludwig's inspiration was drawn from the legends of medieval romance, the soaring melodies of Wagnerian operas, and the ideals of chivalry from a bygone age. He envisioned a sanctuary where he could escape the pressures of the throne, a place that embodied the grandeur of his imagination and the longing of his soul. This was no ordinary palace. It was a testament to Ludwig's obsession with beauty and mythology. Every detail, from the towering spires to the richly adorned interiors, reflected a world that existed only in his mind. But this dream came at a price. As construction progressed, the scale and extravagance of Ludwig's vision began to strain the kingdom's resources. The castle was becoming not just a masterpiece of art and architecture, but a symbol of a king's defiance and the beginning of his undoing. King Ludwig II was no ordinary ruler. While other monarchs reveled in the grandeur of court life, Ludwig sought refuge from the constant demands of his position. He shunned the bustling affairs of state, preferring the quiet, unbroken solitude of his private world. His love for seclusion was so profound that he would often vanish into the Bavarian countryside under the cover of darkness. Imagine this enigmatic figure, a tall, imposing man dressed in simple but elegant attire as he wandered through lush meadows and forested hills. Ludwig was known to walk alone for hours, absorbed in the serenity of the natural world. He found solace in the rustling leaves, the gentle flow of rivers, and the songs of nocturnal birds. These midnight excursions weren't mere strolls, they were escapes, acts of defiance against the suffocating constraints of royalty. Ludwig often returned from these solitary journeys, brimming with inspiration, sketching designs for castles or jotting down thoughts that hinted at a man lost in his own fantasies. His private life seemed to exist in a realm far removed from the political chaos of Bavaria. Yet, Ludwig's unconventional habits were not the only thing that set tongues wagging in 19th century Bavaria. The king never married, a fact that was considered scandalous for a ruler tasked with continuing the royal lineage. His lack of interest in marriage sparked gossip, but what truly fueled the whispers were his relationships with men, relationships that went far beyond friendship in the eyes of his court. One name often tied to Ludwig was Richard Hornig, his trusted aide and confidant. Hornig, who served as Ludwig's chief equerry, was a constant presence in his life. They traveled together frequently, and Hornig acted more than just a servant. He was a companion, a listener, and, according to rumors, the object of Ludwig's deepest affections. Those who observed their bond described it as unusually close, even intimate. While Bavarians' conservative society turned a blind eye to many indiscretions of the aristocracy, the possibility of such a relationship between a king and his aide stirred unrest among Ludwig's advisors. It wasn't just the personal scandal, it was the political vulnerability it created. The true depth of Ludwig's feelings for Hornig can be glimpsed in a collection of letters, fragments of the king's private thoughts immortalized on paper. In one such letter, Ludwig wrote, "You are my light in the darkness, the one my soul longs for above all others." The words carry the unmistakable weight of devotion, revealing a man who was willing to risk everything for a connection that society could neither understand nor tolerate. But the stakes were immense. In 19th century Bavaria, a scandal of this magnitude could ruin reputations, destabilize monarchies, and even incite rebellion. The relationship between Ludwig and Hornig, whether romantic or platonic, was a threat, not only to the king's personal life, but to the fragile fabric of his reign. To protect themselves, Ludwig and Hornig maintained a veil of secrecy. Yet, no matter how careful they were, rumors persisted. Those in Ludwig's court began to whisper of secret meetings in the opulent rooms of his castles. Speculation about the nature of their relationship became a weapon for those who sought to undermine Ludwig's rule, adding fuel to the growing discontent among his ministers. Ludwig's reclusive nature, his unorthodox relationships, and the weight of societal expectations created a perfect storm. He was a king, caught between his dreams and the harsh reality of a world unwilling to accept him for who he truly was. Neuschwanstein Castle became not just a retreat, but a sanctuary, a place where he could hide from the judgmental eyes of his court and escape into the fantasies that defined his soul. King Ludwig II's infatuation with Richard Hornig, his trusted aide, did not go unnoticed by the royal court. It began as subtle glances, quiet conversations, and prolonged absences that sparked whispers among the nobility. While Ludwig was a master at concealing his private life from the public, his court was a different matter. Every stolen moment, every unexplained late-night meeting became fodder for speculation. To his ministers and advisors, Ludwig's preoccupation with Hornig was not merely a personal matter, it was a liability. The king's growing detachment from governance and his obsession with his private world created a vacuum of power. Bavaria, already struggling politically and financially, needed a strong leader. Instead, they saw a dreamer, distracted by castles, and entangled in a relationship that threatened to destabilize the monarchy. Nobles, who resented Ludwig's eccentricity, seized the opportunity. They whispered in shadowed corridors, spinning rumors of impropriety into weapons. A king, they said, should rule with authority, not indulge in fantasies. They painted Ludwig as a man too absorbed in his own desires to care for his kingdom, and Hornig became the emblem of this perceived neglect. The tension reached its peak when an unconfirmed yet explosive rumor spread like wildfire through the court. According to the whispers, Ludwig and Hornig were caught in a compromising position within the walls of one of Ludwig's secret rooms. While no official records exist to corroborate the claim, the story was enough to fuel the ambitions of Ludwig's enemies. Imagine the scene as it's been passed down in hushed tones. A late evening, dimly lit corridors, and an unexpected discovery behind a locked door. Servants scurried to spread the news, while nobles sharpened their accusations. It didn't matter if the incident truly occurred. In a court already simmering with discontent, the mere suggestion was enough to spark outrage. Ludwig's ministers, who had grown increasingly frustrated with his erratic behavior and lavish spending, saw their chance. The allegations against Ludwig became the final blow to a reign already on the brink. His ministers moved swiftly, crafting a case to have him removed from power. Publicly, they cited his extravagance and eccentricities, but privately, the whispers of his relationship with Hornig loomed large. In June of 1886, Ludwig's council declared him mentally unfit to rule. He was stripped of his authority and confined to Berg Castle under close watch. The once mighty king of Bavaria, who had dreamed of creating a kingdom of beauty and solitude, was now a prisoner in his own land. And then came the most haunting chapter of his life. Just 3 days after his deposition, Ludwig's body was discovered in the dark waters of Lake Starnberg, alongside the body of his physician, Dr. Bernhard von Gutten. The official explanation was drowning, but the circumstances were far from clear. Witnesses reported no signs of struggle, and Ludwig was known to be a strong swimmer. Some say he took his own life, driven by despair. Others whisper of foul play, a plot to silence the deposed king before he could reclaim his throne. Picture the scene, the mist rising over Lake Starnberg at twilight, the still waters broken only by the discovery of 2 lifeless bodies. It was a tragic and mysterious end for a man who lived his life surrounded by both beauty and scandal. The alleged affair with Richard Hornig and the rumors surrounding his downfall have never been fully resolved. Was Ludwig the victim of a calculated political coup, or was he truly lost in his fantasies, unfit to rule? And what really happened on the shores of Lake Starnberg that fateful night? The story of Ludwig and his forbidden love is one of passion, betrayal, and mystery, a tale that continues to captivate historians and dreamers alike. As grand and majestic as Neuschwanstein Castle appears from the outside, its most intriguing features are hidden deep within its walls. King Ludwig II designed the castle as much for concealment as for grandeur. Beyond the opulent halls and sweeping views of the Bavarian Alps lies a labyrinth of hidden passageways and secret doors, all crafted to ensure the king's privacy. Imagine walking into a richly decorated room only to discover a nearly invisible panel in the wall that swings open to reveal a narrow, concealed staircase. These secret doors blend seamlessly with the intricate wood carvings and painted walls nearly impossible to spot, unless you know they are there. One of the most famous of these hidden features is the private corridor connecting Ludwig's bedroom to the kitchen, allowing him to dine without being seen. Another passage, cloaked in shadows, leads to a small balcony where Ludwig would sit alone, gazing over the mountains, lost in his dreams. For Ludwig, these hidden spaces weren't just practical, they were symbolic. They represented his desire to retreat from the world, to create a sanctuary where no one could intrude. It was as if the castle itself was an extension of his personality, a place that allowed him to exist in a world of his own, making shielded from the prying eyes of his court and the burdens of his crown. Of all the rooms in Neuschwanstein Castle, the throne room is perhaps the most breathtaking and the most haunting. Completed just months before Ludwig's untimely death, it stands as a monument to both his grandeur and his tragedy. Picture stepping into a vast, gilded chamber, its ceiling soaring high above you like the heavens themselves. The floor is made of gleaming mosaic tiles, depicting animals and plants in stunning detail. The walls are adorned with murals of saints and kings, their gazes distant and serene, as if they are watching over a divine kingdom. A massive chandelier, shaped like a Byzantine crown, hangs from the center, casting a golden glow over the room. But something is missing. Despite its name, the throne room has no throne. Ludwig's dream of ruling from this majestic space was never realized. The empty dais, meant to hold the throne, stands as a powerful symbol of his incomplete vision. It's as though the room itself mourns the loss of its creator, echoing the emptiness of his unfulfilled reign. Visitors to the throne room often describe a sense of awe mixed with melancholy, as if they are walking through a dream that was never allowed to fully take shape. Even before Neuschwanstein Castle rose above the rugged cliffs of Bavaria, the land it stands on was steeped in legend. Locals whispered that the site was blessed by mountain spirits with a mysterious otherworldly energy. But not all the stories were so benevolent. Some believed the land was cursed, as its natural harmony has been disrupted by the construction of the castle. The mountains, they said, had a life of their own, and, defying nature by carving stone into the cliffs, would bring misfortune. One tale tells of a shepherd who warned Ludwig against building on the site, claiming he had seen ghostly figures wandering the cliffs at night. Ludwig, captivated by the drama of such stories, chose the location anyway, perhaps drawn to its ethereal aura. The castle's placement only adds to its mythical quality. Perched on a steep hill, it often appears to float among the clouds, especially during misty mornings. On stormy nights, when lightning illuminates its silhouette, it seems almost alive, like something conjured from a Gothic tale. Whether blessed or cursed, the land around Neuschwanstein has become as much a part of its story as the king who built it. The castle stands as a testament to Ludwig's defiance of convention, a dream carved into stone, forever caught between legend and reality. When King Ludwig II met his tragic and mysterious end, Neuschwanstein Castle was left unfinished, its dreamlike halls quiet and incomplete. Yet, just weeks after his death, the Bavarian government made a decision that would change the fate of the castle forever. They opened it to the public. What initially had been a private sanctuary for a reclusive king now became an attraction for those eager to catch a glimpse of his eccentric vision. Visitors marveled at the castle's fairy tale architecture, its grand halls, and the breathtaking scenery that stretched from its windows. Even in its unfinished state, Neuschwanstein was a marvel, an opulent monument to a king's impossible dream. Over time, the castle's allure grew. Word spread beyond Bavaria, drawing travelers from across Europe and eventually the world. By the 20th century, Neuschwanstein had transformed into one of the most iconic castles in history. It served as the inspiration for countless artists and architects, and even Walt Disney, who modeled Sleeping Beauty's castle after its enchanting design. Today, more than 1.5 million people visit Neuschwanstein every year, wandering through its ornate halls and gazing up at its soaring towers. It's a place that seems plucked from the pages of a storybook, a castle born of a dream and preserved for generations to come. But beneath the castle's beauty lies a haunting legacy. For all its grandeur, Neuschwanstein stands as a symbol of King Ludwig II's unfinished dreams and his untimely demise. He never lived to see it completed. By the time of his death in 1886, much of the castle's interior remained unfinished, its empty rooms a stark reminder of a dream cut short. What makes Ludwig's story so tragic is not just the loss of a king, but the loss of a visionary. He was a ruler who dared to dream of beauty in a world dominated by politics and pragmatism. His castles, including Neuschwanstein, were reflections of his soul, places where he could imagine a world untouched by the harsh realities of his reign. The castle also serves as a poignant reminder of the dangers of misunderstanding. Ludwig's ministers and advisors saw him as eccentric, even mad, failing to grasp the depth of his artistic genius and the weight of his personal struggles. His removal from power and his mysterious death are stains on Bavaria's history, moments of betrayal that cast a shadow over his legacy. Neuschwanstein remains more than just a tourist attraction. It is a lasting tribute to the power of dreams. For all its mysteries, scandals, and unfinished corners, the castle continues to captivate the hearts of those who visit it. Its soaring towers and ornate halls stand as proof that beauty can endure, even in the face of tragedy. As we leave the enchanting halls of Neuschwanstein Castle, one question lingers. Who was King Ludwig II? Was he a misunderstood visionary, a dreamer whose passion for art and beauty clashed with the harsh realities of his time? Or was he truly the mad king his ministers declared him to be, lost in fantasies too extravagant for the real world? Even now, more than a century after his death, Ludwig remains one of history's most enigmatic figures. His mysterious demise only deepens the intrigue. Did he take his own life, driven by despair over his deposition? Was he the victim of a political conspiracy, silenced before he could reclaim his throne? Or, as some believe, did he fall victim to an accident on that fateful night at Lake Starnberg? The truth may never be fully known, but one thing is certain: Ludwig's dream lives on. Neuschwanstein Castle stands not only as a testament to his imagination, but as a reminder that even the most unconventional visions can leave a lasting mark on the world. If you've enjoyed this journey through the secrets of Neuschwanstein Castle, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Leave a comment below and share your thoughts. What was the most memorable castle you ever visited, and where was it? In the next episode, we'll dive into the known or unknown secrets of another medieval castle. Stay tuned as we continue to unlocking the doors of history, one castle at a time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.